escort me off the premises? Absolutely not. You didn't tell me I was getting fired. I left my bag, my keys, my phone, not my...
Rounds of applause, baby, make that cake. Clap, clap, clap. Drop it to the floor and make that cake. Clap, let me see ya. Bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it, bust it. Baby, drop it to the floor and... Okay, fine, I don't sound like Waka Flocka, but you get the point. I can't use the copyrighted music, but for this story that has been resurfaced by the Shade threads, this woman was recording herself in her Allied Universal uniform, clapping those cheeks, twerking, which there's no crime against twerking, but the thing is, Allied Universal provides security and facility services to a lot of corporations, one of them being T-Mobile Park, and she was in uniform, in company branding, right, dancing to a song called Round of Applause by Waka Flocka Flame. And this is a party dance song. This is when you're going to the club or you're at home, you're trying to turn up, whatever. But the lyrics are not family friendly, they're not corporate friendly, and she's doing this, it's to be assumed based on the background, on company time. Even if she was on break or something, it's just going to be assumed. So these stories have been popping up, and you have to be careful while posting, and especially if you're at the company working and in uniform or in the company's branding of some sort. Now, for me, if I owned a company, I don't know if I would care so much what people are doing on their personal time, right? But I would care about what people are doing with the company image, and if they're doing something on company time, which is perceived here. And that's really more about the clients. You know, if I'm working with certain corporations and they're family friendly, let's say Disney, they want to keep a certain image. That would give them cause if they're seeing a lot of people online clapping cheeks. They see a lot of people online twerking in their uniform. Well, they may have a cause to decline using our services. And so this is just one example. Next up, you're going to hear from a girl who's talking about her experience of being terminated by Allied Universal, and it's because of social media activity. So in this climate right now, y'all, the job market is not great for most people, and you should be hanging on to your job. If you have a good job, keep it, and not being terminated for social media activity. So this was tough because you never want to see someone losing their job. But knowing this is a company, they hire hourly contractors, they care about the clients, not necessarily you. That's just the downside of working as a contractor as well, which Allied Universal is. And they can easily find security folks. It's not that difficult, as this next woman will say in her video. So I'm going to let the next video run of this girl talking about her experience. I love these TikToks where they're actually doing stuff, like they're putting on makeup. She's taking down her braids. She's having this conversation. It just seems like you're talking to a friend. She also talks really fast, so I'm going to slow down the video a little bit. But just know I didn't do that. That was the actual content creator.
Let me tell you about the time I got fired from Allied Universal for posting videos on TikTok. So the last place I worked for Allied was in Charlotte at a Wells Fargo call center building. And I already had a lot of troubles with my manager and everything. Like, he was just doing the absolute most. Me and that manager kind of got cool. He saw like, hey, let me not for her. And I go to whole shift. I'm making my videos like normal. I'm chilling. It's such a chill site. It's probably like 7:30. They called me to the office. They said, hey, Aisha, the manager want to speak to you. Mind y'all, I keep getting write-ups about my socks, write-ups. So I go to the office. It's the manager that I was fussing with, but then we got cool. And then the new manager that nobody likes. He's just he's one of them lame black dudes that got some power all of a sudden. Like, he was probably lame in school and lame all his life, and now he got some power and he trying to take advantage of it. That's what he reminded me of. And so I go in the office. He handed me a piece of paper. I said, what is this? He said, oh, nothing really. It's just the old write-up. I wanted you to sign it. So you can acknowledge the fact that you've seen it and you da-da-da-da-da. Y'all, why once I signed the paper, he looked at it, made sure it was my right signature.
Friendly reminder to always read through documents.
He said, yeah, you're terminated.
Especially when coming from someone that you do not trust.
I said, what? So me signing that paper was my termination? Are you serious? I said, for what? He said, oh, we've been getting calls that you've been posting on TikTok and posting on social media wearing the Allied uniform. I said, sir, I've been doing that for as long as I can remember. He said, yeah, well, that's not illegal. He said, that's against company policy and you gotta go. Y'all, every time a company fired me for no reason, I get so pissed. I got so mad. I started cussing that man out. And this is why I'm ineligible for rehire with Allied Universal. I cussed that man out. I said, I don't even want to talk about what I said. It was very unprofessional, and I've already forgiven myself for that, and I won't do it again. I'm learning to be professional. I cussed him out. I said, are you fucking kidding me? I do so much for this job. You just got here 3 days ago and you're going to fire their best employee? Are you stupid? I left out.
Now we can see she was not the best employee there based on everything that she's told us.
Trying to escort me off the premises? Absolutely not. You didn't tell me I was getting fired. I left my bag, my keys, my phone, not my phone, my bag, my keys, and my water bottle all the way across the building at the post I was at. I'm going to go get that and then I'll leave. Why they following me around like I'm about to do so much destruction or something? I've been working for y'all.
First of all, she cursed this man out, which she actually just admitted to. And so typically companies, after terminating an employee or laying off employees in an office or facility, they are going to plan to have security walk out the person because it's an emotional state that a person could be in, and you don't know what a person could do when they are upset. And there have been instances where people do become violent upon terminations or layoffs. And with her, she's already given some show of behavior that is a bit erratic, where she's cursing her manager out. So she's telling on herself here.
Y'all know me. Why would you? That's crazy because TikTok, like, and then the Allied videos was like some of my most viral videos. So they probably did see me posting and stuff. So y'all, I called HR. I said, yeah, they trying to get me in trouble saying that I'm posting on the site. Y'all, I thought I was slick. I tried to hurry up and delete everything off my page.
See, now that's the funny part, because she's trying to be slick with HR and hide her posts, but the only way she got to the point of being terminated by that manager is the fact that he worked with HR. Also, HR would have been the one getting all of the complaints about you being on social media. Therefore, they would have already have done an investigation and have had documentation filed on you to show this is why we're terminating this person. Because one thing about HR, they are going to cover the business. And so if there is any reason for you to say, oh, I was wrongfully terminated, well, they're going to have the proof to show which policies you violated, any warnings you received, you know, anything that you've done in the past, which you actually told us about. So HR already has all your information. They've done their homework, so you can't try to hide it now.
I tried to post it to my eyes only and get it all off my page before I called HR. Y'all, HR already had everything in their file. She said, April so-and-so 2020 da-da-da-da-da, you posted this pretending like you was asleep. On March so-and-so 20 da-da-da-da-da, you posted this dancing in the break room.
Exactly, they have it. And y'all gotta stop dancing at these companies.
On April da-da-da-da-da, you posted this dancing on the table. I said,
oh, she's wild. She's dancing on tables at work.
Then I tried to snitch on everybody else. I said, but I be seeing so many other people in Allied uniforms posting and they don't never get in trouble. She was like, yeah, I understand that, but we were getting da-da-da-da-da-da. Maybe they haven't got caught yet, but they will be dealt with. Da-da-da. I'm sorry, y'all. I snitched because I'm not about to be the only one that's getting fired for that.
This is where they may have messed up. She can't be the only one terminated for this.
So that was probably like a year ago. I tried to apply a couple months ago and I had an interview and all. Tell me why the same lady that put me on my old job went ahead and called me. She was like, yeah, Miss Greer, I see that you can never work for Allied again. I wanted to go ahead and call you and let you know before you make a trip up here.
They got her on that good old do not rehire list.
Da-da-da-da-da, you can't work for us no more. I said, what? I gave all my years to this place and I just can't work for y'all no more just like that? That's insane. So y'all, watch out what y'all posting on TikTok with these jobs, these security jobs. They do not play. They don't play. Even though they are jokes, security jobs are a joke. I mean, I miss security. It was so easy. I could sleep. I was a mobile security. I was a outpost security. I was all type of securities that you can think of. Watching the cameras all night security. Just any type of security. Like, I love security, but security jobs are a joke. It's nothing serious. We don't got no authority. It's just, I don't know, y'all. Just be careful. If you work for Allied Universal, just be careful what you post. Be careful who you tell about your social media to. Just be careful, because they be on that.
This young lady's last statement is definitely correct. I would never advise anyone to share their social media with anyone at work, even if they're friends with someone at work. It's just a little risky because you don't know how your social media may evolve, and you don't know what other people may do with the information. I think it's very important to be careful with what you share. And I'm saying this both from working in the HR world and recruiting world, but also from personal experience. There's plenty of things I wish I had never shared with people at work. And this goes to like just personal things going on in my life. Just feeling like you can open up and share something, or just how you're feeling about something in an honest way. Just be very careful with that sort of thing. Now, you can do what you want, but that's just my advice, and you're hearing her example. But I will say she seems a little seems like she was doing a little too much at work, and they seem to have a means to fire her. The one thing I will say, that if she had done this thing and it was against policy, yet there are other people that are still working there that have, multiple accounts of, social media posting, doing similar things, she might want to get a lawyer, just because, sure, it could have been against company policy, but my question would be, well, why was I the only one singled out for this policy? Why are others still working there? And just talk to a lawyer. She may not really have a case because of some of the things she said earlier, like she had been written up multiple times. So that may be a part of that documentation on why they can say, hey, this instance, she had multiple write-ups due to this and this. And so this was just, us having to terminate her because of the number of incidents that have been reported. So overall, stop dancing at work unless your work understands that you're posting on social media and you're at a company that is okay with that, or you have some type of contract with the company where you're posting on their behalf, even something like that. If you've worked out something with them and you've gotten it okay, fine. But depending on what you're posting, if you're twerking online and you're in uniform with the company, they're probably not going to like that, especially if you're a woman. There is some distinction between men and women, because I have seen more accounts where men are doing a lot of dances, doing the same dances as women do, but there's a difference because of how women are looked at. Women are critiqued a lot more. It's just, listen, I'm not going to argue with y'all, but women are critiqued. So if you're a woman, especially if you have curves, like if you have a curvy body, you're going to be critiqued more for dancing. That's just it. I'm just being honest. You also have the story of a woman who was working with Alaska Airlines who was terminated as well. And you see her here. She was dancing, she was twerking, and she's in uniform and she's on the plane. So in these instances, it's really hard to make a case, because it's like, well, why are you using their brand to boost your social media? Could be one way to look at it. And then the other end is, okay, what does this do to this company's brand? Seeing you twerking in that uniform or on their plane, could that drive away potential customers seeing you do this? Because some people will say, oh no, I don't like how, that looks a little ratchet, looks a little ghetto, I don't want to do that. I'm just saying, I'm just putting something out there. For me, I don't think that would really sway me seeing someone twerking on a plane. They could be doing a lot worse. So, but I've never flown Alaska Airlines. And, there's just a lot more to think about than, oh, I was just dancing. Well, you could just be in uniform and making a TikTok, and they may still not like that because of the fact that you're in uniform and they don't have control over what you're doing with your account. You're associating yourself with that company brand on your personal account. So anywho, all this to say, if you have a good job and you like it, don't take the risk with just dancing in the uniform and on the company site. unless you have already authorized some type of deal with that company, I don't even recommend that, just because opening up to say, hey, I got this social media account, well, they're going to look at it and they can vet it and they can look back years and years and years. I even had a situation where I was trying to recruit someone and they were so close to getting the job, but they had made all these different comments on Twitter and the hiring manager did not like that. Hiring managers will search you up and look at, I mean, this was years ago that they made these posts. They will find them. That's the one thing we know about people. They will find your posts. So, anywho, I'm going to close out here. Let me know what y'all think about this, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Hey y'all, I wanted to let you guys know that Allied Universal fired me. They didn't fire me from my videos. They fired me because I wasn't aware that if you put in a job transfer, they have the grounds to fire you. I didn't know that. I've already spoke to a few lawyers and they all have said, yeah, when you put in a transfer, you're basically saying that you don't like the job, you no longer work the job. So they basically gave away my job. My boss called me up on my day off and said I no longer had my job, basically. So I'm really frustrated. I think it's unfair that companies can do that. And I told them, I was like, my job was fine. I just wanted to transfer closest to home. I was like, my job was over an hour away. So I'm jobless. I do have some money saved up, so that's great. But I'm out here looking for jobs like everyone else.